Well, it appears we have a caller on the line. Let's check this out. This is DJRF from WOOL, Country Lunch Show. Who's this?
This is Jim, Paleo Mt Man.
Oh, wow. I was waiting for your call. How you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing, Al?
That's good. It's warming up. I noticed the temperature is rising, so I like that. And maybe spring is coming.
Well, it should be. I mean, I was still shoveling snow today. I got some down to the grass, though, in the front yard, and all the chickens are happy.
Oh,
All the
really?
birds are happy.
You shoveled out your driveway?
Well, the front yard.
Oh,
I shoveled down to the grass so the birds could go out there.
oh.
And it helps it melt, you know. My driveway's about 400 feet long. It's kind of hard to shovel.
I imagine it is. I would probably have a snowblower. That's a hard driveway. I'm afraid to drive up there sometimes. It's straight uphill.
Well, I had to put my house on the top of the hill, and I just had to. It would have been better if I put it down in the field, right
Yeah.
where the near the mailboxes somewhere.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to put it up on the hill where it went from east to west. It bends up over the ridge top is where I live, right on the top of the ridge where it bends from the east to the west. And my front porch looks to the west. And I can see, you've seen Okemo from my house,
Right.
Mount Okemo. And you can see actually the base of the mountain. It's 35 miles away from my porch. And you can see the bottom of the mountain all the way to Okemo. And that's one of the reasons they built these serpent walls up here. You have a really good view of the horizon, the western horizon, where the sun sets and the stars set. And they were very astronomical minded, the people that built them, these ancient walls. And they're all over Vermont. Vermont has a lot of these walls. And you might walk by them not even knowing that they're as ancient as they are, some of them. And you can tell, if you get to know the walls and you look at them and you study them, you'll get to tell which ones are which. And some of the walls are so interesting. They're story walls. The people that built them they're like giant glyphs. They're maybe several feet wide and 4 or 5 feet high, built into the walls, maybe spirals that look like galaxies, and tunnels going through the walls shaped like triangles and pyramids and portals. And there's chambers in the walls, and there's tunnels under the walls. And they run across, like I say, they go north to south, so they look east-west. And on the equinox, in one spot on a wall on my property, a serpent wall, on the equinox on September 21st, the sun sets exactly behind a triangle portal going right through the wall. It's about 2.5, 3 feet deep, going right through the wall. It's shaped like a pyramid, a triangle. And the sun sets exactly behind that triangle shape. And as the light comes through it, it makes a light pyramid that looks exactly like the triangle. And it points towards the east as the sun sets in the west. I got some pictures of it last September, right on the equinox. And it shows you how accurate these people were with their geometry. They use sacred geometry, and they used it in their artifacts and their stones. There's a lot of crystal up here, a lot of it. The whole mountain's actually filled with it. And they use the stone and all the different types of stone. And it's not a granular crystal. It's more like a glassy crystal, and it made sharp surfaces. If you ever looked at obsidian, it's like that, but it's white and it's blue and it's orange. And there's a lot of fossils up here also of the people that use them. There's burial mounds up here on one part of the property. Behind one of the serpent walls, there's mounds. I don't know what's in them, but I call them burial mounds because they're on the east side of the property, and when the sun comes up every morning, it shines on these mounds. And they're out by some big stones, big standing stones that are back there. And I don't know how long they've been sitting there, but they're still out there. There's spirits up on this mountain. And like I said, there's a lot of crystals, a lot of artifacts, stone tools. They made a lot of their tools out of these crystals that they found, this hard stone, because it's very hard. And I have a lot of stone tools, but they were very artistic, these people, and they put art in their tools and on their stonework. And some of the art is so incredible that it's hard to believe that you can actually put these images in these types of stone. And how they did it, it's anyone's guess. It's like magic. That's what I call it. It's very magical. And the energy on this mountain, I call it a natural pyramid. Before pyramids were a thing in Egypt or anywhere, there were natural pyramids and mounds. People built mounds on top of these pyramids, these natural rock structures and things like that. And that's what this is. And they built walls here. Up here, there's a lot of rock, so they built a lot of walls in this area. And they aligned them with the horizon. They aligned them with their stars and planets and suns and equinoxes. They, on the west side of the wall, they put fields, and they grew their crops. They put a giant retaining wall to hold up the field. The whole field in front of my house is has a retaining wall holding the field up, and the retaining wall has a giant dolmen. It's a tic-tac shaped stone that's probably 12 feet long and 5 feet high. You can imagine how heavy it is, but it's on top of a 12-foot high retaining wall. And it's a dolmen. It sits on little stones. It's a giant stone that sits on smaller stones. And you can sit on top of that dolmen and look out to the horizon, and that's probably what they did. But it's like an energy center. These walls are built on ley lines and energy lines. And if you tap into the energy that's available, it's very healing. It changes your whole life because it is healing, and that's why they came to these places. And that's probably the secret to many of these megalithic sites all around the world, is the energy that was summoned from these places. And there's places in the earth that naturally have this energy, and this happens to be one of them. The people that lived here, you could see how creative they were by the art that they created. Everything they did was very artistic and beautiful.
I got a question. The energy, is that there naturally, or do you think they opened it up and created it, and once they did that, it stayed there?
They definitely opened it up by using it, but it's a natural energy center. The whole mountain here is made of crystal quartz, all different types of crystal. This whole mountain is made of it. There's giant boulders of it that stick out of the ground here, and something to do with the crystal and the quartz and all the energy that's compressed in the ground, and all this crystal under the mountain being compressed releases energy. And that's exactly what happens. It releases energy. The earth is releasing it. They came here because of that and used it and healed themselves and built walls and had their lives here. And they left stones and crystals and artwork from their past. And I've collected many of them. I have a lot of ancient crystals. I call them shaman stones because they're magical. And they will heal you. They've healed me. They've done miraculous things. And I say the crystals, but the crystals are basically, they focus the energy that's here. You use them as tools. They're not magical beings as much as they are tools made by magical beings a long time ago. There's images of mammoth here, elephant, mammoth, buffalo, eagles. I even have a stone that looks like a great ape, like a gorilla from Africa. And I posted it on my channel. I have it in my hand right now. And there was a time when Vermont was attached to Africa, many, 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 many years ago, when Pangea was around. And that's the only time I think that happened.
How could that be? I can't see Vermont attached to Africa. That's pretty
Well,
far away.
when the continents drifted, I guess they separated, and I guess they tell by the geology of the east coast up here of the United States and parts of Africa, the north west coasts of Africa. Similar geology, possibly. That's how they do it. And
Okay.
it seems like a stretch that happened, but maybe it did. But anyway, there's a great ape here, and he looks just like a gorilla, and there's an eagle etched into the side of him, like a bald eagle. And it just opens the mystery up of the images I found here. A lot of them are portraits of people that used to live here. They created their own portraits in these stones. And when you photograph the stones, the portraits come out very well. You can see them pretty well. They photograph easily, and you get good results. I've been taking photographs for a long time, and I started photographing these stones a few years ago, and they just want to be photographed. And different light, use side light, and use there's a lot of relief in the stones, and you turn them 90 degrees or 45 degrees or 30 degrees, and you get completely different images from the stones. It's hard to find tool marks on a lot of these. You can see where they've been tooled, but it's very hard to find like tool marks. They never use chisels. They use stone on stone, or to do this, a harder stone would break a less hard stone. And a lot of these are very hard. Some of the blue stones I have are, I think, 9 on the scale of 10. They're almost as hard as diamond. They're like sapphire. And there's plenty of blue artifacts up here. Very blue sapphire. It's called corundum, blue corundum, and they made a lot of artifacts out of that. But it's very, very spiritual. These stones. Like I said, they'll heal you, because I can say that because they've healed me. I have a testimony. When I came here, the energy completely changed my life and brought a very sick person. I came here pretty much to end my life. This is the end for me. And now I'm beginning my life all over again. I have plans and things to do, and my body's completely healed. From 38, 40, 43 years of having epilepsy, it's completely gone. Got healed just from the energy here. And that's what I speak now of, is the healing that you can find. And it's the healing energy that comes from the earth. It has to come up from the earth here. And there's waters underneath the ground here. There's aquifers, and there's water that comes up out of the ground here, a lot of springs and wells. And that's what I drink, is the water here. I drilled a 1,000-foot well here, almost 1,100 feet, right into this aquifer underneath the mountain, and that's where we get the water. It comes up through.
I saw that. I couldn't believe that. I mean, so much water goes through there, and you're right up at the top too. You know, right up near there.
I'm at the top of the ridge, and it goes downhill on both sides of the ridge, hundreds of feet, and I have water bubbling up through the ground. If I can put a shovel in the ground out in the field, and water will come out. It's just rich with water.
So there's other forces acting up there too. Something.
I don't know. It's it's an incredible place. I want to. I've had a few people out here. I want people, if they want to come out here, to be able to explore it. There's 3 walls up here that line the property, and there's standing stones. There's dolmen. There's springs and wells. There's crystals buried everywhere in the ground. You can almost walk around and just pick them up. I picked a lot of them up that were just laying on the top, but I never really dig for them. You know, there must be tons of crystals under the ground, and a lot of them are just artifacts that were carved by people long ago. They're beautiful. Like I say, they're healing because they healed me.
Great. I can imagine you're sitting up there on the East Coast with the West Coast sunset scene. I mean, it's very beautiful on the West Coast watching the sunset. So you must get a West Coast sunset every day up there.
Every night, yeah. It's beautiful every night.
Unbelievable.
Because you can see 180 degrees pretty much.
Okay.
That's a big horizon line that you can see because we're on the top of the hill, top of the ridge.
All right. Okay.
And
If people wanted to check out your stones and your artwork, where can they go and check those out?
I have a YouTube channel called Paleo Paleo Mountain Man.
And they can
That's
leave
where I-
comments. And if they wanted to directly talk to you by phone, how could they do that? Just leave a comment and ask for your number.
You can comment on my Gmail, which is JIMMYCOLELLA, Jimmy Colella at gmail.com. All small caps. JIMMYCOLELLA.
Okay. And they can also go to your YouTube site, which is Paleo Mountain Man, and leave a
And
comment
on any, right?
and ask you for your number or whatever, or
And
your
you can
email.
go on to the on my channel. You can go on to the community page and leave comments,
Great.
and I can talk directly to you there. And yeah, I'm pretty available. I don't mind talking to people. I like talking to people, and if people are interested, I don't mind if they come up here and see it. I've had a few people out here looking at the walls and checking everything out. The walls are very interesting. They're very interesting. There's artwork in the walls and glyphs in the walls. There's old petrified bones up here of, I don't know what they are, giant animals. There's all kinds of stuff up here. It's a wonderland. And we're exactly 100 miles from America's Stonehenge in New Hampshire. That strange place down there. As the crow flies, exactly 100 miles from that place.
We'll have to talk about that another day. I have to get out of the studio for today, but great. It's been great talking with you, so maybe we can get together again sometime.
All right, my friend.
Great.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, you have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.